Okay, Rod, we can hear you.
There you go.
Thank you, Gay.
There you are.
Technical assistance.
Nice to have that.
Well, I had the cutest techie in the world anyway.
But we're not hearing Jeremy's music. That's what everyone's wondering.
So our mics are working, but the sound system into the center is not
Doesn't sound like it.
currently.
Because Steve is up at the podium, I think.
Larry, it looks like you're underwater.
I am. It's been one of those days.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure you don't have any like that.
Oh, one after the other. I'm chairing a national effort at getting high-speed rail funding, and got an early morning call this morning. Crazies back in Washington don't understand time differences. And
President Steve,
Mark, how are you?
everyone. I'm very pleased to introduce as my guest Carol Reed, who is my spouse.
Wow.
And she teaches at San Jose State University.
Welcome, Carol. Enjoy the program, please. Michael.
President Steve, I'm very, very happy to reintroduce two friends of ours, neighbors from up in the hills, Clayton Road. They're a couple. It's the Robin couple, and you remember Matt from his kilt from before, and his lovely wife Emily is here. Emily is a pediatric physician in emergency rooms, which is a real demanding thing to do these years. And she has brought along her sister Megan, who is a member of the Rotary Club of Manhattan, or was a member of Rotary Club of Manhattan, lives in Redondo Beach, and she's a community volunteer and also event planner. So all three of them, we're real happy to have them here. And my wife Anna's here, but she didn't want to walk up. So anyway, welcome back to the club, and we're very happy to have them. Thanks.
Welcome, Emily and Megan, and Matt, thanks for showing off your legs again. Hi, Deanna.
Riverside College of Adaptive Arts. I have my amazing professor here, Mr. Angel Gonzalez.
Welcome, Angel. Hey, Mike, I'm getting a little bit of almost feedback up here if you can. Thanks. Andrew Bales, can you come up? Andrew is going to eulogize our dear friend Bill Highlander. I know many of you knew and loved Bill, so Andrew Bales.
Welcome. Richard William Bill Highlander. He died January 23rd, 2022. He'd been a member of our club since 1986. I've known Bill and Ida since I came to San Jose back in 85, 86, in that era. When I first met him, he was doing public affairs for FMC, which became United Defense, which gave me some money for the ballet when we started. So I was hitting him up the day I got here. The immediate cause of his death was pneumonia, but he'd had a stroke and a number of end-of-life medical challenges in those last days. He was preceded in death by his wife, Ida, who was very active in the arts community as well. They married in 1965, and in 2020, they celebrated their 55th wedding anniversary. He's survived by his daughter, Allison, son-in-law, Jonathan Curtis, two grandchildren, Riley and William Curtis. Bill was born in West Virginia in 1940, and after a year at the Greenbrier Military Academy, he accepted a scholarship to Rutgers University. He was a brother of Chi Psi fraternity and a member of the 1961 Rutgers undefeated football team. He later got his master's degree from the University of Georgia in journalism. He was commissioned into the Army as a second lieutenant, and he served in Vietnam as a tank commander, went on to do public affairs work for the Army before retiring in 1984. Lieutenant Colonel Highlanders awards and decorations are amazing. 2 Legion of Merit awards, 2 Bronze Stars for Valor, a Bronze Star for Meritorious Service, Purple Heart, 3 Meritorious Service Medal Awards, 4 Army Commendation Medals, Vietnamese Cross of Gallantry with Gold Star, Combat Infantryman's Badge, Ranger Tab, Airborne Wings, Army General Staff Identification Badge, Department of Defense Badge, and all culminated in 2016 when he was inducted into the U.S. Army's Public Affairs Hall of Fame. That's an elite group that only had 50 members at the time. He was active in San Jose in a very large number of programs. In the arts, he was a long tenured trustee of the San Jose Rep, and after that was on the board at the Symphony with us. He was a member of the Knights of St. John, active with the San Jose Ethics Roundtable, member of a number of civic and industry groups, including serving on the board of the San Jose Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce. Remember one of the many names that's had. And chaired the California Manufacturers Association. Countless others can claim his participation as well. Later in life, he undertook to write heritage and legacy books for a number of local groups, including the Boy Scouts. In the end, he was known as a hard worker you could always count on. When told of his passing, Calpine's founder, Pete Cartwright, said what so many others have echoed: he was a good man. He will be laid to rest in Washington's Arlington Cemetery as befits his service there.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Jeremy, for a beautiful rendition, as always. Sal Pizarro, come on up. Going from the sublime to the ridiculous, my buddy Sal's going to come on up and hopefully entertain you all. I'm not quite sure what to expect, but Sal Pizarro.
I'm not even sure what to expect. Okay. We are doing this a little on the fly here. So we wanted to have some fun and also give people a little bit of education about San Jose. So I'm going to call a victim kind of at random, but I know who it's going to be. So it's not really random, I guess. And we're going to have some fun and see what people know about San Jose. So Heather Lerner, I see you right here. Why don't you come up here and join me? Okay, so Heather. Yes. Normally I'd have a slide prepared for this, but
be able to do that.
We're going to do this well. Okay, so I'm going to name 4 businesses, and I want you to tell me.
Now I have a caller waiting on hold.
Oldest in San Jose. Okay. And we're going to ask the audience for help. We're going to do this sort of, we're going to see what they think, and we're going to talk about it. Okay. So first one is Original Joe's. Pretty old. Second one is Mark's Hot Dogs.
Oh, yeah, love Mark's Hot Dogs. Okay.
Third one is Chiramonte's Deli. And the fourth one is the Old Spaghetti Factory in San Pedro Square. Okay, so let's ask the audience. Okay, who votes for Original Joe's being the oldest restaurant in San Jose? Oldest eatery, okay. Who says it's Mark's Hot Dogs? Who says, that's pretty good split. Who says Chiramonte's Deli? Got a few people. And who says the Old Spaghetti Factory, which actually has old in the name? Carl Salas there, sticking up for old.
Just the Carl.
Okay, what do you pick?
You know, that deli it's got some nice support out there, but I'm gonna go Original Joe's.
Original Joe's is in fact wrong.
I'm so glad.
Original Joe's opened in 1956. The answer is indeed Chiramonte's Deli. Now, Chiramonte's Deli opened, I believe, in 1908. So.
Oh my gosh, that's embarrassing.
Mark's
I've
Hot
missed it by
Dogs.
50 years.
Mark's Hot Dogs is actually the second at 1936. And the Old Spaghetti Factory opened in San Jose in 71, I think.
Well,
So-
I appreciate you bringing me up here to show my faux San Jose fangirlness. I thought I was a big fan, but.
Well, you know, it's
Thank
it's
you.
similar. So Chiramonte's still serves up great sausages that are on North 13th Street, right by Bethesda Park. And of course, they did for a while also have an outlet at the San Jose Airport that they no longer have, but they are still a great family-owned business and someplace that we should all continue to patronize. And they've got a great neon sign out front. So Chiramonte's Deli,
Fantastic.
oldest eatery in San Jose.
Fantastic. I love the chance
Thank
to
you,
play.
Heather, and
Thank you
thanks for
so
playing
much.
along.
I will really
And next month, we'll do another one with some other new fact about San Jose.
Sorry, I was expecting so much more. Sort of like all of you for the last 5 months, if you know what I mean. Oh, God. That's a hairpiece, not a haircut. What do you guys think of Sal's beard? Who votes to keep the beard? Who votes to get rid of the beard? Who doesn't give a damn? Okay, thank you. Sarah Klish, you still on the phone, or are you going to come up and talk? Here's Sarah Klish talking about the Legacy Program. Please give Sarah a warm welcome.
So first off, I need to explain why my phone is in my ear. Very Reader's Digest version, trying to use a credit with American Airlines. I've been on the phone since 10:30, so just bear with me. Okay, now to the subject at hand, which is the Rotary Foundation. So what I'm here to talk with you about today. Yes, I do it well. All right, so talking here today about the Sid Hart Legacy Society. Now, there are some of you in this room who know exactly what I'm talking about, and there are others of you who are going, what? Who? Why? So that's why I'm here, is to let you know what, who, and why. So Sid Hart was a former member of this club, and if you go into our beautiful 50th anniversary book that John Kennett and the rest of the history team did, you will see in the section under the foundation a little bit about Sid Hart. We're going to come back with more information about Sid because it's important to ground ourselves, but we weren't able to get all of that today for this particular presentation. So he, in his estate plan, left the foundation $750,000. It is what really boosted our foundation to a point where the snowball started. If you know the whole thing of compounding and rolling, right? You get more money and suddenly you get a really big pile. Well, he really pushed us. And all the contributions that all of you make all year long, every year, help to add to that snowball, okay? Anybody in the club can participate in this legacy society. It's the greatest thing ever. And what is it, you may ask? Well, it's an opportunity to think about what you want your legacy to be, okay? What impact do you want to have on the community here in San Jose, and how do you want to facilitate that? Well, one of the ways to do that potentially is to name the foundation in your estate plan, Maybe name the beneficiary of an IRA that goes tax-free to the foundation, right? There are a lot of different ways to participate. So if you'd like to know more information, how to do it, when to do it, all of that sort of thing, you could just talk to me. I'd be happy to give you more information, or anybody else, frankly, on the foundation board is happy to have that conversation with you. The thing that we want you to understand is that there are many different choices and many different options. They're all personal in nature, and we would love to have that conversation with you if you're open to doing so. And they still have not come back on the phone. Thank you very much.
What, how much? 4,000? Sarah, so I got Southwest on the line. They've got a better deal. Oh, thank you. Okay. Nancy Williams, are you here? Come on up, Nancy. She's going to talk about the gala again. While Nancy's coming up, just a reminder, please support the gala. If you've already bought tickets, great. If you haven't, do it, donate, participate. It's all fun and for a good cause. Nancy.
That's what I was going to say. So I'm done. No, I just wanted to, I don't know, do we have sponsor slides to put up? There they are. Sponsors are coming in. We've almost at the point where we're closing some levels. You guys are so wonderful. A lot of people are coming in at a higher level than they had before. They're taking the John Ball Challenge seriously, and I love that. A couple sponsors that just came in, Johansson and Yao, which has never sponsored the gala before, at least not in recent memory, and Bozzuto Insurance Services came back in. So there's still time to sponsor, so let us know. Sarah and I, again, are going to be at the back table to answer any questions. What we really need right now is more auction items. We're only about halfway to our goal, and think about what you can give. The things that we've gotten so far are so creative. We're getting such wonderful things. Many Rotarians are opening their homes to do some wonderful dinners. Those will all be available. The committees are coming through, and one committee that has not given in the past that's doing something this year is the Lee Weimer's Emerging Artists, and they're getting donations from artists who have won in the past. So I'm really looking forward to see what they come up with. So everybody put their thinking caps on, think about what you have, what you can get, who you know, and let us know. Thank you. And by the way, the invitation went out yesterday. If you did not get it, please let Teresa or someone in the office know, or check your spam filter. Thank you.
Nancy, just a reminder, Johansson and Yao just changed their name to Johansson and Yao after 46 years, because Dave's Swedish isn't very good, so it's Johansson and Yao. Let's give a hand to Dave Davis. What do you say right now? Janica Clem, you want to come up and play up here on the stage?
You know, the joy of a mask and an earring is just fantastic. Hi, everyone. What a fun day to be here. We get to talk about love, as I love on this little situation I've got going. So anyhow, we have got some amazing speakers here for you today. It's nice to see you all. Love is in the air. We've got Valentine's Day coming up next week. And what's fantastic about this program is it's talking about love in so many different ways. I'm really excited to bring up our first speaker today, who is Mark Mckenna. Let's get this started.
So, good afternoon. My name is Mark Reed Mckenna. I introduced myself to you last year. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about my spouse and how I met her, Carol Reed. Carol and I have been married for over 30 years. We met in the spring of 1989 when Carol came to work at the Asia Foundation. Though we were in different departments, we worked on several projects together. Carol impressed me with her wit, her intelligence, her grace, her beauty. By September, I began to consider this could be more than just a friendship. But I was hesitant. Office romances can be tricky. However, finding the love of your life does not happen every day. I decided to ask her out. I strolled casually over to her cubicle and was greeted to my surprise by Carol saying, "Oh, I have something to tell you. I'll be leaving the foundation at the end of October." I expressed my regret and we talked about her plans. I decided it wasn't the right time to ask her out, but was relieved at the possibility of a relationship that was not an office romance. I did ask her out a few days later. She later confided that my smile suggested I was weirdly happy that she was leaving. October 17th, 1989, 2 weeks before Carol's last day, dawned like any other. It was Game 3 of the Bay Bridge World Series. Carol lived in Emeryville, I lived in Berkeley. We were both rooting for the A's. Many at the foundation were Giants fans. Its offices were located on the 14th floor of one of San Francisco's most historic buildings. The Merchants Exchange on California Street was completed in 1904 and was one of the few buildings to survive the 1906 earthquake and fire. Some of you may have guessed where I am headed. At 5:04 that evening, as Game 3 got underway, I was at my desk when the building began to sway, and not just a little bit. After crawling out from under our desks, several of us made our way to the stairwells and walked down the 14 floors, emerging on a street filled with dust and debris. As we gathered to make sure everyone was okay, I could see that Carol wasn't there and confirmed she'd left at 5. Where was she? Now, living in Berkeley, I normally took BART home. Carol, however, took the F bus from the Transbay terminal. I had to make sure she was safe. When I got to the terminal, it was a madhouse. As you may recall, the earthquake had collapsed a span on the Bay Bridge. So soon no buses were arriving, and then no buses were leaving either. The place was packed. No one knew what to do. Everyone was on edge. I waded into the crowd, headed to where passengers for the F bus were waiting. I now shift to Carol's perspective. She left the office right at 5, taking the elevator down 14 floors. If it was scary on the 14th floor, it was scarier on the ground. When she emerged onto California Street, chunks of masonry and broken glass were raining down amidst rising clouds of dust. People screamed and ran. She thought we were being bombed. Then she saw the lamppost swaying and knew it was an earthquake. She carefully made her way to the F bus stop at the Transbay terminal. It was packed with people. No one seemed to know the bridge had collapsed. Then, across the terminal, she saw a familiar black hat. This black hat. It's always good to bring a prop. And it seemed to be coming her way. And that's how we found each other in all the uncertainty and chaos. I won't say we knew for sure our bond was cemented then, but 6 weeks later, we were engaged. A month after that, I was offered a position in Pakistan, and she agreed to start our new life together in that far-off land. We were married next April and set off on our honeymoon in May, which took us first to Paris, then Islamabad, then subsequently to London and Colombo, Sri Lanka. 13 years later, we moved back to the Bay Area, eventually to settle here in San Jose. On asking Carol out, it was the best decision I ever made. Thank you very much.
Good morning, my name's Erica. Eric and Karen worked in the same building together. Karen's divorce from her first husband was final for about 10 seconds before Eric asked her out, another office romance. And Eric was a bit of a ladies' man, so Karen said she would go out with him, but only if he canceled his tab at the florist. He did, and they went out, and family lore has it that they dated for about 2 weeks before they eloped.
Just 1 year later, at the ages of 27 and 28, they found themselves with Karen, my mom, in the hospital facing surgery for a cancer that nobody had heard of in 1978, with slim chances of survival. Doctors were sending samples of her tumor to the Department of the Army because the CDC did not yet exist. My dad was convincing librarians to let him into the doctor's only library so that he could read medical journals about the latest and greatest. At the same time, the back half of their house was torn off. My dad was rebuilding it himself to make 3 rooms for his young and growing family. My sister was age 7, my brother was 5, and I was 1. And it was really only as an adult that I could appreciate how this challenge so early on in their marriage really wrote the love story for the next 42 years. During that time, they showed this independent strength to face the challenges before them, and they did it for each other and for their family. And that created this just really unbelievable sense of awe in each other, and this sense of respect and pride and faith that showed through to everybody and anybody who met them. I never heard them fight. I never heard them call each other names. I don't think I ever even saw an eye roll. And I love their love story. But the reason that I'm sharing it with you today is because I think it teaches us that although we may not love enduring the challenges in our lives, if we do, we just may have enduring love at the end, just like my mom and dad.
Thank you, Erica Gaffney, and now Randy Beckett.
22 years ago, Jake, my dog, was diagnosed with Addison's disease. And that's a disease of the adrenal glands where every three weeks, he has to go in and get a shot from the vet. So he was diagnosed by Dr. Shen. And over the next few years, I was involved in a divorce with my first wife. And I would regularly go into the vet's office with Jake, who was my main man and wingman during all that time. If I fast forward to a couple years later, after some fairly normal visits to the vet office, I get this card in the mail from the vet office, and it's a Christmas card, and it looks something like the one that's up there. It has a picture of all the staff. And when you go into the vet office every 3 weeks, you get to know the folks pretty well at the vet office. And so I'm looking at this card with a newfound attention towards females because I'm recently single. And as I'm looking at it, I'm like, who is that pretty girl? I've never seen her before. And as I looked closer and closer and closer, I realized it was Dr. Shen. And I realized in that confusion at that moment that she, at that moment, she had just been a doctor to me. She wasn't actually a female. And so I started thinking back to, wow, she's pretty. What do I know about her? And I realized it was hardly anything. And so I was then on a mission 3 weeks later to then go and figure out whether she had a boyfriend or a husband or whatever her situation was. So very slyly, as I did, I went in, just asked some normal questions about what she did on her day off, and she answered them normally. And then I realized that, yeah, it doesn't look like she has a husband. So I strategized for 3 weeks later to go back in and kind of build up the chutzpah to actually ask her out. And so I come back in and I wanted to make sure she was there. So I called into the office and make sure that she was there. And I go in and we do the normal shot thing. And at the end of it, she asks, do you have any other questions? And I said, yes. Would you like to go out with me? And she amazingly, very quickly said yes. And I was floored. My immediate thought was, she's been pining for me to ask her out all these years. It's the only possible answer. Little did I know, on our first date, we talked about that, and she confided in me that that she had actually has her best friend is a vet, and who ended up being our maid of honor, and she confided in her and said, "Hey, I think I have a customer that's going to ask me out. Should I date him?" And her friend said, "I've done it before. It's messy. Absolutely don't do it." So even more interesting, because I was trying to be sly about all of this, right? A man never wants to, kind of like throw all his cards on the table. When I called into the office, apparently the whole staff knew that I was going to ask her out because they were making fun of her. And by the way, the whole staff is basically high school girls. Right? So we end up getting married, and on our at our wedding, we have little table tents that we put on all the tables, and people would go around from each table to table, and on the table tents were the story of our love. Half the version was my story, and half the version was her story. So my version went something like this. I had this wonderful dog, Jake, who was perfectly fine till he came to see the vet, and all of a sudden he had a disease where I had to come in every 3 weeks to see the vet. Her story was, going to the vet every 3 weeks gets pretty expensive, so either you have to kill the dog or marry the vet.
Thank you so much, Randy. And next up, Megan Fluke.
Happy Wednesday. Happy early Valentine's Day. When Janica asked me if I might bring something about love to today's meeting, I was on the fence knowing that I already had my hands full with work and being a mom. I wasn't sure I was going to have the time. But my daughter woke me up in the middle of the night on Monday morning, and I found some inspiration. I love my kids. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. My 6-year-old daughter, Amelia, was born in 2015, and in 2019, I gained 2 bonus children, Noli and Cruz, who are 13 and 9 this month. I love that it's my job just to love them as hard as I can, even when it makes absolutely no sense and they can just be little kids. With that, I offer up 15 reasons why I love my children. I have a feeling that many of these might resonate for anyone with kids in their life. 1, I love how they wake me up at 4 a.m. to ask me where their ancestors are from. 2, I love how many cups they use in a day. 3, I love when they ask me where all the cups are. 4, I love the way they seem kind of uncomfortable and get louder as soon as I lay down. 5, I love when they tell me that their device is out of power, and after I've reminded them several times that they ought to charge it, and they want my phone. 6, I love the way that they ask me to do something when I'm already doing something else that they asked me to do. 7, I love how they always want to play Tickle Monster, even though somebody, without fail, always runs away hurt and crying. 8, I love how they correct me on my form when I'm doing a home workout. Usually they're eating snacks on the couch. 9, I love how they each have a different diet and we have to make a different meal for each of them at mealtime. 10, I love how one of them is usually quite unhappy with their meal. 11, I love realizing that I haven't eaten anything as I wash a mountain of dishes and they tell me how boring I am. 12, I love how they point out every new gray hair of mine. 13, I love how Cruz, the 9-year-old, needs his quiet time, and he can just sit in his room for hours creating these amazing drawings for our family. 14, I love how Noli, the 13-year-old, always wants to be helpful and is there for her younger siblings when they're having a hard morning to help pick out their clothes. I worry about her growing up too fast. And 15, I love how my 6-year-old Amelia sets an alarm at 7:30 a.m. every morning, just in time to give Noli a hug before she bikes to school. I love our kids. It's going to be hard when they move out and leave us with all of their sweet drawings and all of our clean cups. Thank you all. Happy Valentine's Day.
Megan, that was so fantastic. Thank you. So what we have learned about love is also that we need to be flexible. And so I'm sad to say that Derek Seaver is not here today, but I bring a message from him. He had a great love story to tell, but he's got a little bit of a chest cold and a non-COVID chest cold, so he is not here today. But he wanted me to share with you, as you think about what you're doing for Valentine's Day, if you chose to do something, please remember the small businesses that are out there that you could frequent and help support and love on this season. Think about your local chocolate shop. There's a great one on Lincoln Avenue. Think about some of the florists. There's a great new plant shop in Moments at San Pedro Square. So from Derek, make sure to shop small and show them some love. Next we have Trisha Creeson, Valencia.
The topic of my talk today is my girlfriends. And I'm going to be jumping off, it's an homage to a poem by Sandra Cisneros called Las Girlfriends. It's absolutely one of my very favorite poems of all time, and I can share it with you afterwards if you're interested. Michaela, the Earth Mama. She talks about vibes and intuition, and she's always the first one to raise a glass with me and put on her dancing shoes. She unabashedly plays dress up with me, and she has more than earned the title of second mom to both of my children. Anne, the social worker, shows up. When my burdens are too heavy, she takes me on walks, and she reminds me to keep putting one foot in front of another, literally and figuratively. We tell each other to remember to look up when we're outside so that we can really notice the world. Carrie, the thinker. She is an introvert to my extrovert, a yin of rationality to my yang of emotionalism. She asks really good questions, and then she truly listens to my answers. She does not pass judgment, nor does she pass on the opportunity to go swimming with me. I hope that our floaties stay tethered together for a long time to come. Meadow, the filmmaker. She was with me on the first day of my very first film shoot, both of us stress sweating and leaping into our creative future together. She can fix anything with her hands. She reminds me when I cannot imagine continuing that it's not good to quit, so I don't. Claire, the lawyer. She brings powerful perseverance and smarts to everything she does. She feels my pain, and she sticks with me. She does not shy away from life's messy complications. She can walk through fire. Kit, the teacher. She magically appears when I need positivity and wisdom. She asks, should we go skating? Should we craft something? Should we take a hike? Shall we dance? She offers me plenty of options, and she shows up ready for anything. Christine, the athlete. She brings out the sporty spice side of me. She's a perfect blend of tomboy and femme. She might offer me workout advice or offer to advise me on the perfect jewelry to wear to an event. She helps me appreciate my physicality and understand how my mind and my body are connected. Anne, the BFF. She taught me how to write checks when I arrived at college, completely ignorant of the ways of adulting. She held my hair when I puked after drinking too much tequila. When her mother lay dying, we held hands around her hospital bed, singing and laughing as we said goodbye. She holds me in her heart now, walking alongside me as I try to offer comfort to my aging parents. I am so grateful for my girlfriends, my roller derby sisters, my theater prop moms, my basketball besties, my playgroup confidants, my high school friends now grown, my spirituality group who has walked this journey with me. You carry me, you lift me up. I love my girlfriends.
Thank you so much, Trisha. How lovely. And next, Richard Ajluni.
Trisha, you're a tough act to follow, and I'm kind of jealous because my best guy friends are all jerks. They're nothing like your, with all due respect to those who are in the room. On December 19th, my daughter Elena was born, and the moment she came into the world, my mother looked at me and said, "Now do you understand how much we love you?" And I understood the words, but I didn't really understand the essence of her comment at that time, right? It was kind of an emotional time, and there was a lot going on. But the annoying things that she and my dad did were starting to make sense now, right? Bragging to everyone about the slightest academic achievement, right? There weren't that many. Wanting to know where my friends lived and who their parents were, and should we invite them over for dinner? Please no. When you found those zigzags in my drawer and you knew they didn't belong to my friend, but you didn't make a big deal about it, you just talked to me about it. Asking me what I learned in school every day when I came home. Insisting that we eat meals, dinner together every day as a family. Allowing me to buy books whenever I wanted with no limitations, but making me beg to buy one record album. For those of you under 50, that's kind of like a playlist. Leaving those notes in my lunchbox every day, right? Driving to school when I forgot my lunch, and you didn't just take it to the office, you took it to the classroom so you could hand it to me. Now I understand. I don't understand how you did it, and made all 7 of us feel so loved.
It's no coincidence that Rich's friends are all jerks.
All right. So when I reached out to Chris Wilder to come and join this program, he immediately said yes. And I was beyond ecstatic. And then unfortunately, I have to tell you that due to some technology issues, he's not able to join us today. And I thought, that's disappointing. We won't be able to hear Chris talk about love. And then I thought for a moment and said, but we have an amazing opportunity to talk to Chris about love and show Chris some love. So we're going to spend the next few minutes for people in the room and all of you on Zoom. For those of you on Zoom, we are going to let Chris know how much we love him. And I want you to give a shout out to Chris. You guys can take a moment here at the mic to say hello to Chris Wilder, send him some love. People on Zoom, please write in the chat something you'd like for me to read to Chris. And we are going to send this video off to him. So instead of him joining us, we're going to bring all of us to him. So I invite anybody who would like to say something to Chris to come up to the mic now. And those of you who are on Zoom, please type in and let's show Chris some Rotary love, because I know he would really, really appreciate it. We miss you all so much, or we all miss you so much, Chris. So let's start. Fernando, you're first. Oh wait, let me make sure the mic is on first, because we want to make sure that everyone can hear. I don't know, let's turn it on. Nope. And here comes Steve for this. Oh, there we go. Okay, Fernando.
Chris, all of us were just so saddened by the fact that you were taken down by the stroke, and I had to stop and remember this energetic, dynamic leader that had been in charge of Valley Medical Center Foundation for all these years. And every time you came into a room, you filled it with energy and you filled it with joy, just because that's the kind of guy you are. And we're so happy to learn that you're making your recovery. So keep on fighting, old buddy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fernando. And I so appreciate it. And I just want to say something real quick. So Chris was the leader of the Valley Medical Center Foundation for almost 20 years, I think. And for those of you who don't know him, he is one of the most dynamic community leaders this valley has ever seen. So just to give you a little context, and he's also probably one of the most known community leaders this valley has ever seen. Bert George.
Chris, it just seems like yesterday that we did the big drive-through, the new COVID, how are we going to do a fundraiser? And it was so fun to be there with you that day, and just know that we're not done with you yet. So get healthy and get back.
Thanks, Bert. Messages coming from online. Gay Crawford would like to know, hello, Chris. Love seeing you sink that putt on Facebook, one day at a time. It's a mantra she lives by. And Brian Adams is sending you loves and hugs to Chris and with prayers for continued healing. Next up, Christine.
Hi, Chris. We miss you. We value you. We want you to know how impactful your skills and your passion were and will continue to be in this community. From one nonprofit leader to another, I always admired you from afar and in person because of your energy level and your perseverance, but also your creativity and your, always found a solution to whatever challenge came along.
Thanks, Christine. Thank you so much. Chris, when Chris suffered his massive stroke almost a year ago, it will have been early March that will have marked a year, we were really concerned, obviously. He was in hospital for almost 6 months and then has been home doing rehab. But the amount of progress he's made, slowly day by day, I just want to give a real quick and huge shout out to his amazing wife, Kate Wilder, who has been by his side before, now, and will be, because she has just been such a rock. So Kate, we love you. We appreciate you. You're such an amazing +1. So thank you for all that you do. Next up, we have Richard.
Hey, Chris. We met in 2005 at Community Leadership San Jose. And if you remember, you and I were the only two in the class who were afraid to climb up on the ropes course. And so we stood there awkwardly in the corner, and that's sort of how we bonded. You were a chicken on that day, but today you're one of the most courageous people I know.
Thank you so much. A few online shout outs. Helen Lambert wants to say, Chris, your strength is an inspiration. Catherine says, missing you, my vegan animal loving superstar hero. Ginger Soletto says, hi, Chris, miss having your large positive presence in the room. And Lisa Regal says, says, we miss you, Chris, and the animals miss you too. That is true. Greg Kempferly, Chris, we love you. We believe in you. Keep healing one step at a time. Blessings and prayers. Patricia Fox says, Chris, stay strong. Terry Chapman says, Chris, miss you and can't wait to have you back. Still holding you in my heart and prayers. From Kathleen King, a longtime collaborator. Chris, as we say, Chris is not a noun. He is a verb. For sure, Kathleen. We want to sell Chris Wilder's charisma. I'm sorry. Kathleen, let me do this right for you. So Chris is not a verb or a noun. He is a verb. We want to sell Chris Wilder's charisma, thank you, and increase fundraising through his abilities. Miss you, my brother, from Big Sister Kathleen. It's been a while since I've read in front of a microphone. All right, Jim says, we miss you, Chris, wishing you nothing but love and support as you continue to heal. Be well and look forward to seeing you soon. Shashir Doctor says, Chris, get well soon, miss you. From Jeffrey, Chris, bro, thanks for dedicating so much of your life and presence to serving the unhoused and so many others through the foundation. Many of those folks are the same people I serve. On their behalf, we love you and everything you are. You are still larger than life. God bless you. Jeffrey Morgan, First Community Housing. And now at the mic, Mr. Steve Ellenberg. Nope.
This one's working?
There you go.
All right, so it's not a surprise for those who were here, I think it was 3 years ago, at this Valentine's Day program, how well Chris is being supported by his wife, Kate, And as a program committee chair, I kind of remember almost every program. And I will never forget Chris doing his 2 minutes, describing the precision in which Sully Sullenberger landed that plane in New York, and taking it from there, all without notes. And Chris did this entire presentation without notes, perfectly constructed. I don't know why he's not a lawyer. And described with beauty the support and the love that he and Kate have for each other. And I know that that enduring bond is going to help Chris into the future. And hopefully we will see you all here together soon, Chris. We wish you the best.
Thank you so much, Steve. Just a couple more, just a couple more shout outs that we saw. If I can get back to my chat, there we go. Rod Deardon wants to say, Chris, you started the VMC revitalization to match the vibrancy of the new buildings. Your sincere and determined advocacy for VMC to be everyone's hospital has been contagious. Let all of our energies join yours in the fight for health and happiness. Be back with us soon. Thank you, everyone, so much for this. It means the world to me because Chris is a very dear friend, so I'm excited to be able to share this love with him. And again, Chris, we love you. We hope to see you back here soon or in a Zoom square soon. We love you. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
I know we rang the bell last week, but we're going to do a little ring the bell now because we have a few minutes. Who's the first volunteer? I think his name is Nicholas Adams. Nicholas, come on up.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Good to see you. Good to be back with my fellow Rotarians in person. I want to ring the bell today. I've been a member of this club for almost 12 years, and we'll be celebrating.
Nicholas joined when he was in 7th grade.
Joined in 2010, a year before I started.
Nicholas, come on up here.
It may cost me double, absolutely. Before I joined Rotary in 2010, I was a member of Rotaract. Many of you know about Rotaract. We have a Rotaract. We have an Interact district here in 5170. Rotaract was a big part of my life before I joined Rotary. Was intimately involved in that organization on the district level and even beyond. And one of the individuals who I met through Rotaract is with us today. Her sister just joined our club, and her brother-in-law just joined our club. Mike Conniff was gracious enough to support their sponsorship into our club. So I think we met in 2006. Megan Coutinho is here. Megan, thank you for your support of my Rotary journey. I think we sometimes have those aha moments in Rotary, and one of them was on a wheelchair distribution with Mike for me, and another one is happening right now today, how Rotary comes full circle for us sometimes in life. So I think because we met in 2006, I'll do 6 rings to celebrate Megan and to celebrate the Rotary family.
Andrew Bales.
Well, I just want to ring it twice for 2 generations of Borkenhagens who had a restaurant that really made our town a place to be for a long time.
Just stole my thunder. I was going to do $500 for the 2 words, 3, I guess. Cafe Stritch and my old Eulipia. I miss the chicken, Stevie, the chicken.
Yeah, but he never changed the damn menu.
That was an extra ring.
Hi, I just wanted to ring the bell for our Teresa, who's going to be retiring. She's done such a great job, and I'm really going to miss her, and I think everybody else will as well.
The uncomfortable silence as we wait for someone else to ring the bell. Karen.
Hey, I'd like to ring the bell for Chris Wilder.
Karen just stole my thunder. Someone else, come on, Carl, your turn, go ahead. But let's someone ring the bell for Chris, but go ahead, Carl.
Will you tell us one story, like one of your favorite stories from Olympia? Because I miss it too so much. I mean, Stritch, yes, but Olympia was my life when I first moved to San Jose. One story, one.
Okay. My worst moment at Olympia. So we had this restaurant for the better part of 40 years, and I was doing something else, and my wife and a couple of my kids were running things, and we all hated it. And so I used to go in after my job. In fact, I was working for Carl at the time doing energy engineering. That's another story for another day, Carl. But so I came in, and the server said, that guy sitting at table 13 or something, the guy sitting at 13 was just in the kitchen yelling at Diz was this legendary chef that we had that some of you knew. He worked for us for 35 years or something. So she said, that customer at table 13 was just in the back bitching at the kitchen, yelling at him. And usually I've got a pretty long fuse. At this point, 40 years, I was just a pissed off old white guy. And so I said, which guy? That guy there? Okay. So I walked over, they were on their entree course. And so there are all these plates and they're eating. And I walked up, and I just walked up and started busting the plates. I didn't say anything. I just started picking up plates, and they all looked at me like I was crazy, which I was crazy. And I'm picking up the plates, and the guy said, well, what are you doing? I said, oh, we're done here. We're done here. You don't go back there and yell at the chef. You just don't do that. And he's sort of pleading his case. And I didn't care. I just bust all the plates. So they were sitting there now. They had nothing to eat or drink. So that they got up and started to leave. But the best part of the story was we had this bartender at the time who I think I'd fired like 9 times. You know, we all have an employee like that. You know, you fire them and they come back, and you fire them again, and you're desperate. You just keep hiring the same horrible people. And so after this incident, I walked by the bar, and the guy said, Steve. I said, what? Antonio. And he said, that was the greatest moment of my whole life. So clearly, I was done with that business and ready to move on. You know, we didn't build business for 40 years by me busting people's plates and telling them they were kicked out, and then they couldn't spend any money. Thank you to all of the wonderful people who spoke today. Mark, Erica, Randy, Megan, Trisha, and Rich, and Janica. Thanks for doing a beautiful job. And not coincidentally, our contribution today on behalf of our speakers will go to the Valley Medical Center Foundation in honor of Chris Wilder. I think I have 30 more seconds. Chris is one of the great wild men of my life. I've always been attracted to eccentrics. Carl, Bert, take your pick. And I love Chris Wilder, and we play golf together, and he comes in these insane outfits that look like somebody threw a can of paint on him. And Chris, we all love you. Really one of the great characters of my whole life. So Chris, we can't wait to have you back. Next week, our speaker will be Judge LaDoris Cordell, speaking on reflections on jury reform, judicial elections, and independence. She'll also be signing and selling books afterwards, and LaDoris is a fabulous speaker. Please, all of you come. And your assignment from me, the president, is bring a guest who's a Rotarian. So call someone who's a Rotarian who never comes, okay? We'll call them Rotarian guests, all right? Because all of you come every week, so bring someone else. And I do want to thank Jeremy again. I love his playing of Auld Lang Syne. And with that, have a great week.